Well, trauma, as you'll see, as I say over and over again, is a corruption of memory. In traumatic stress, which is a life threat and a state of helplessness leading to the freeze response, the discharge allows completion of escape or defense in procedural memory, extinguishes conditioned somatic cues. I'll go into this in detail. That's a lot of gibberish. But what we're saying is the discharge completes the act because it replicates the act of escape so that our brain thinks it's over. It's no longer present, it's gone, it's past. And it's a conditioned response. Trauma is simple Pavlovian conditioning. It's learned helplessness. It's also called fear conditioning. The association of the threat with the body messages accompanying the threat and the emotional state and the generally sympathetic state of arousal is discharged and ended and extinguished by the freeze discharge. And if it isn't, then it's stored in unconscious survival-based memory, and that leads to fear, conditioning, or trauma. With all of the emotional, all of the memory, and all of the body memories that accompany that traumatic event. Well, where does this happen? This happens in the limbic system, the emotional brain. The emotional brain lies underneath the cortex, inside the front middle part of the brain. It consists of a variety of things, including the cingulate gyrus, the amygdala, the hippocampus, things that are vaguely familiar to you, some more than others, depending on how much neurology you've studied. But the critical element for trauma is the amygdala. That's the champ. That's the one without which trauma would not occur. The amygdala is the organ of arousal. It evaluates fear. Other important parts are the orbitofrontal cortex. This is all on the right side. Notice that's the right half of the brain. That's where arousal occurs, the right half of the brain. The orbitofrontal cortex, as you'll see, is an important part of this picture, the cingulate gyrus. Those are all names for you to remember. We'll go into it in a little more schematic detail. The locus ceruleus is a little area in the reptilian brain, the medulla, the brainstem, which is the firing center. It shoots off norepinephrine throughout the brain, which sets up the arousal cycle. It's triggered by what that polar bear was doing with his head, sensory input from the head and neck. Why do we get so much stiff neck? Because that's an organ of arousal and collection of information regarding survival.